Yeah. What's going on, people? It's your boy Marv Lat, aka Marvin Lattimore, and this is the first edition of the Marvy Marv Show. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. How y'all doing out there, people? I hope everything's all right with you. If you live in NYC like I do, I hope you are getting through this heat because it is wilding right now. I've never seen heat that was wilding for respect since last summer. So we already know the vibes. We already know what we get into. But just, stay hydrated, stay cool, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's just what it is. So this is a new show I created. I created a lot of podcasts, so make sure, shout out to my guys, Nerds in the Hood. Shout out to my boy Ant McGee, Young Dev. Shout out to my boy Uni Francis with Welcome to My Hood Films. Make sure you follow and subscribe to those podcasts. But this is my own thing. Decided to go solo, do my little Beyonce vibes, you know what I'm saying? This ain't Texas, but this is the Marvy Marv podcast. So this is how we're going to do things. We're just going to talk, chop it up about different subjects, just me, myself, and I. I am quoting a lot of Beyonce right now. Let me stop. Let me pull back. But a lot of people that I know call me Marvy Marv, and I found out recently that Marvy means wonderful. So that got me feeling wonderful right now. It got me feeling good. I always just thought it was just a nickname similar to like Martin on his show. But this is a good feeling. This is a really good feeling. So we're going to start this show off right now, and we're going to get direct about Nintendo Direct. Yes, sir. Let's do this. So I wrote down some notes here. If you haven't been aware, about a day or two ago now, by the time you see this, will probably be days before, Nintendo did their official Nintendo Direct. If you're new to video games, what Nintendo Direct is their State of the Union address for video games, but just with their company, not with anybody else. They don't cover PlayStation, they don't cover Xbox, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's basically just their own thing, their own press conference. They just talk about what games is coming up in the forecast between this year and next year. And it's a beautiful thing. It's dope because we don't have E3. We don't have E3. We don't have games like any of those game conferences like that like we used to. But E3 usually around this time was the vibe. It was something where you was just excited and expecting to hear the greatest news about any system you like and the games that were coming up. And we don't have that anymore. So we have to settle for the little brother, which is Nintendo Direct. They've been doing this for a while. But we were more excited about the Smash Brothers games. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was always looking at a Nintendo Direct to hope that we was gonna get a new fighter reveal. And I would feel like we came up short when we didn't get that. I don't know if y'all agree with me, but this is where we was at. You know what I'm saying? So this Nintendo Direct was actually pretty good. There was a lot of things that you probably low-key didn't really want to hear about, like the Hello Kitty game or the Funko Pop game, even though that Funko Pop game does look kind of interesting, not gonna hold you. But I wrote down the nitty-gritty. I wrote down what was really jumping, what really caught my eye. So I wanted to talk about those real quick with the time allotted here. So basically, I guess we'll start from like the least exciting to the most, in no particular order. We'll just go that way. It doesn't matter. So first off, I saw the Nintendo World Championship game that they had, and I always kind of I gotta give props to whoever cops these games. Nintendo be knowing what they doing. Nintendo's like, yo, we are not, if you know Nintendo, you know Nintendo's not dropping the price below $50 for no game unless they don't care about that game. If it's a Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, Metroid, if it's any of their first party juggernauts, the team, the squad, that game gonna be $50 until they stop selling it. Long story short, if it has any of those names on there, guaranteed it's gonna be $50. If it's a game like like this Hello Kitty game, it'll be $50 when it come out. It'll be $20 by December. You feel me? So this is a different type of vibe because this is about speed runs. And in the video game world, a lot of people do speed runs. All they do is run through the game mad quick. They post it on YouTube, get mad views, mad likes. I can't do that. I missed that train, and I am really mad about that. But this is an interesting game. This comes out in July, and it has like over 150 speed runs that you could do for Mario Brothers and so on and so forth from the Nintendo libraries. So if you're a speedrunner fan, check that out, or just watch somebody's YouTube where they do a speedrunner, or their Twitch where they do that too. We got Mario Party Jamboree. This one You know what? We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that because I got something to say about that Mario Party Jamboree. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is coming out in 2025. Now, this has been announced since 2017. Almost 10 years we've been waiting for this game. So that you know what this means, right, folks? When a game gets delayed this long, like this, or like Grand Theft Auto 6, or a lot of other games you've probably been waiting for down the scope, when a game like this takes this long to make, it better be fire. You can't make no mistakes. It gotta be a 10. We will probably settle for a 9. But if it is an 8, we're gonna be so pissed. Because we're like, yo, I waited 10 years for this game and you give me garbage? Nah, fam. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking that at all. So looking forward to this. It's Metroid Prime was a dope first-person shooter that came out on the GameCube back in the early 2000s. And it made 3 dope games. I think the third one came out on the Wii or the Wii U. 3 dope games. Fire, fire, fire. So we should expect the same amount of fire. They didn't really like share much about the story or how the game's gonna look too much, but you kind of got an idea from the trailer that's gonna be more of like the first 3, and that's kind of fire too. So look out for that sometime within the year, most likely next year. They saying. What else we got here? We got Nintendo Switch Online. So Nintendo Switch Online, they got their virtual console thing that if you pay $50 a year for, you get all the virtual console games that they got from Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance. And technically Game Boy Color too, but you know, same thing. So what's cool about this is they threw on, for the Game Boy Advance, Metroid Zero Mission, which was a dope game. I could not beat it, but it was so fun. And also another game I can never beat from a franchise that I struggle to beat. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm never gonna sit here and tell you that I'll be cooking in that game, which is The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure. As fun as that game was, it was hard to me. Zelda, I don't know if I got ADHD when it comes to games like Zelda, but I can't beat it. I can't beat it. No disrespect to anybody who has ADHD, but you get what I'm saying. There's some games that you know in your heart, you just gotta like mentally prepare for, and that's not one of them. But they did add a mature section, which was very weird because I was like, how many mature games were there for the Nintendo 64? So this really surprised me. There's going to be a mature section. Apparently this was already going on in Japan, but this is new to America. And the first 2 games for the mature section is the Nintendo 64's Turok Dinosaur Hunter, which was a very fun game in itself. It wasn't really a fire game, but whatever. The Turok series is, that one, I think it was that one that was kind of cool, but there was another one I used to play with my friends in high school that was just garbage, bruh. I'm telling you, they used to throw this grenade that, it was like a stun grenade or something, blinded everybody's screen. How I'm the one that threw the grenade, I'm blinded too. That don't make no sense. When you play Mario Kart and you throw the squid, you don't get hit with the ink. So how I get hit with the stun grenade? Repressed memories, people. I'm sorry about that. So they also bringing out Perfect Dark, and Perfect Dark is going to have online multiplayer so you can play with people across the world. Now, this is all good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know? But my thing is, does this mean we're getting Conker's Bad Fur Day? That is the question. Look it up if you don't know what it is. But if we're getting Conker's Bad Fur Day because of this, cool. I tried to look up other mature games. I think it was like Mortal Kombat and a few other games, but it ain't really much that we gonna run out for. So if you're giving us these 2 and you give us Conker's Bad Fur Day, I guess we would call it even. But we got to see what else they're gonna throw out there. Maybe they're gonna get some stuff from Japan. They've thrown on Japan only games on the Switch Online, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We got, speaking of Zelda, we got Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which is coming out on September 26th, which is later this year. And this one is going to allow you to play as Zelda herself. And it's going to have the same graphic style as the last Zelda game we just saw, which was Link to the Past, that remade one. So this is not anything to do with Breath of the Wild or anything like that, or Tears of the Kingdom. This is more of just his own game. Now, this is interesting because this is more like if you remember Mario is Missing, this is more like Mario is Missing, just with Zelda now. And I'm not mad at that. We need that kind of switch up sometimes. You play a lot of Zelda games, you might get Zelda fatigue, who knows. Mario just did it earlier this year with Princess Peach Showtime. And that game was, It was alright. But whatever. It's cool. You know, let the side characters get their vibes. You know, every side character needs their own game, and we decide later if it's fire or if it's basura, aka garbage. You know what I mean? Speaking of side characters, we're getting Donkey Kong Country Returns HD version, which will come out in January of next year. Nintendo is really good at porting up games because most of their games are just HD versions of games that came out on the Wii and the Wii U, which is like, do we really need that game again? I don't think we do. But if you didn't get to play it before, now you get to play it in HD. Fun fact, the Nintendo Wii, their games were in 480p, which is Blu-ray quality, aka, actually no, excuse me. It was in DVD quality. That's not, Blu-ray is 1080. It was in DVD quality. DVD quality is basically just, is what it is. You're not getting that HD. You're not getting that 4K. You're not getting no fuego. So you got to just deal with it. You got to deal with it as it comes. Again, if you're trying to pay $50 to play Donkey Kong Country in 1080p, all I can say to you, sir, or madam, is you got money. You got money. You got money, because I'm not paying $50 for that. Facts. I'm not paying $50 for that. But you got money. Shout out to you. Shout out to your pockets. You working hard. You want to play the same games in HD. That's cool. And trust me, I'm a victim too, baby. Nintendo got me. I bought Pokken twice. I bought it for the Wii U and the Switch, and Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U and the Switch. Basically the same game. But they got me for $100. Light work. Light work. Not knocking Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I will forever have Nintendo products. I just know what I know. So make sure you look out for that game. And what else we got here? Still gonna come back to that Mario Party, so hold on tight. Dragon Quest, we're getting an HD remake of that. So it's the first 3 games, again, an HD remake that will be out within the year. We're getting the Dragon Quest 3. I don't know much about Dragon Quest, but I do remember I used to work for Nintendo World. See, that's how much I love Nintendo. And now it's called Nintendo New York, but back in the day it was called Nintendo World. Long story short, everybody was about Dragon Quest. They loved the slimes. They loved the characters that looked like Goku and Gohan. They loved everything about it. It was a fun RPG. Even made its way into Smash Brothers. Everything about Dragon Quest is cool, so this should be cool. If you never played the first 3, this might actually tempt me to buy it, because I've never played any of those old Dragon Quests I used to watch my friends play when I was little. And this should be a vibe. It should be a vibe, because like I said, Nintendo is good at that HD remake. They know how to get you for it, because they know you want to see the graphics updated. And hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But anyway, and then again, more HD remakes or HD ports. We're getting Luigi's Mansion 2. Luigi's Mansion 2 came out on the 3DS. So this is an okay HD port to buy, because you're getting a huge graphical overhaul. You know what I mean? If I'm getting a game that was on the 3DS and it's coming to a console I can play on my TV, I wouldn't mind buying that. Because that means you're getting like a real like vibe on the HD. But if it was on like 480 and it's jumping a little bit, I'm not vibing with that. It's a dub. And so that leaves us with 3 other games. So we're getting Mario and Luigi Brothership. Now this is an RPG vibe from the Mario and Luigi series. This was a series where it was just the 2 of them, and they would run around and do turn-based battles. Mario does a lot of RPG vibes with Paper Mario, Legend of the 7 Stars, and now he's back with his brother. They doing the brother vibes. They going in here and they beating people up. And this is gonna a cool one, because they do like turn-based joints. They do a joint where they kick like a turtle shell, soccer style. They just be wilding, doing all types of stuff, hitting people with hammers, everything. This one is cool because this one they're going to a giant ship island. The last one they went inside Bowser, and before that they went back in time. They did a lot of adventures, but this one's cool because they're gonna go inside a giant ship island. So they're gonna be doing a lot of spinning, a lot of new moves. The trailer showed a lot of crazy moves. They were doing moves. I was like, it's more kicking people in the face with turtle shells, but I like that. That's the Mario vibe I need. It's like they saw the movie and got inspired to do more. So I'm ready for that. That one's coming out in November, so I might cop that too. So Nintendo, you are really getting a brother to want to buy into this and get on it. So we're going to see more about that in a minute. And the last 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. This one comes out later in 2024, although they did not say an actual date. Now, what makes this game very exciting for me and for a lot of other people, is the fact that it's all of the Marvel games that you remember back in the day of PlayStation and the early Sega Dreamcast days. Now we're getting Marvel superheroes, Marvel versus X-Men, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom 1, Marvel versus Capcom 2. I might be forgetting one of them. I think I said Marvel superheroes, which was just all of them together. Outside of the Street Fighter guys. And we're getting just a solo Punisher video game that I don't even remember even playing as a kid, but we're getting that game where it's just a Punisher and and he's walking around Streets of Rage style just beating people up. Now, this is fire because I don't remember the last time I seen Marvel vs. Capcom 2 almost anywhere. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of the most fun games for the hood I've ever seen in my life, with one of the greatest soundtracks that nobody could argue was trash. Nobody can sit here and tell you that soundtrack was trash. This was elevated music to the max. And you was playing like with Wolverine, and he was like, let's go, bub. And all you heard was you're like, whew. And you was cooking somebody with a combo, listening to that music, tapping your feet, all that. So I'm ready to relive those vibes again, be able to play people online, training mode. I gotta re-get my Cyclops combo where he threw the bows at you and kind of came at you and just knocked you to the other side of the room. That was a fire combo I made. So I got to bring that back, and I got to play the rest of those games. You've seen a lot of people from Mega Man, Wolverine, Cyclops, freaking Spider-Man, Venom, Sabretooth, Psylocke, so many others from so many forms of time. So this is going to be the right game, and I can't wait to buy that. Nintendo, once again, that was a good job. And now I can get back to what I really wanted to say. I am low-key hyped for Mario Party Jamboree. I'm low-key hyped for it. Ain't even gonna hold you. Comes out October 17th, later this year. Oh my gosh. So what makes this game crazy is that it's over 110 mini games. And Mario Party always has a way of bringing out so much fun in people. But it also has a way of bringing out the worst in people, because if your star gets stolen by somebody, you are tight. And then if you get 3 stars, to come to the end and be like, yo, it's a wrap, I got 3 stars. And then they decide that they want to give more stars to somebody else based on popularity or winning mini games, or who traveled the farthest, or who pressed A the fastest, or who pressed start the longest, or who connected their controller the fastest. All types of different stuff that don't even matter to the game that you just played. And they'll give somebody 6 stars just based on that. They'll be like, hey, if your character is in the Mario Brothers movie, you get a star. Hey, he got Bowser, he was in the movie, star. What? So they just be giving out random stars for no reason. And it'd be wild. So it brings out the worst in people, especially when your star gets stolen. You woke up and you're like, you know what? I ain't got beef with you stealing your star. So why do I bring up this part? Because for the first time ever, they're gonna do a thing called a Koopalathon. Try saying that 5 times fast. Koopalathon mode. And it's going to allow 20 plus people to play on and offline. I believe it's more online than off. But it's going to allow 20 people to play Mario Kart mini games. Thankfully, not the actual board game, because Nintendo would have had some problems online. People would have been yelling any way they can. They would have found some way. But imagine 20 people playing a mini game. It is going to be chaos. Nintendo has just caused a international just craziness. It's just going to be crazy. I need this game. I don't know if I want to spend $50. I might have to wait. Since it comes out in October, I might have to wait for a Black Friday deal from some store. But this is wild. This is going to be wild. Like, this is going to be the wildest game in Mario Party history. I'm predicting it now. 20 player online. I might have to get on that just because. If I get a Twitch popping, y'all going to be watching that, man. This has been a fire Nintendo Direct. And this is a non-Smash Brothers Nintendo Direct. We are gone from the days of Smash Brothers, and this is just Nintendo showing y'all like, hey, we got other hits. You've seen Breath of the Wild, you've seen Tears of the Kingdom, you've seen Mario Odyssey, you've seen us remake Mario games in glorious HD. And meanwhile, while PS5 and the Xbox One series is already in 4K mode, and they'll probably jump to an 8K mode down the line too. And, you know, Nintendo was like, yo, we can still make you have fun with that HD. We basically, like, I hate to use a Diddy quote because we ain't rocking with Diddy no more, I know. But they more or less invented the remix with these HD ports. Like, they legit invented the remix with these HD ports. It is crazy how many times they bring a game to a new system and you're still gonna buy it. Like, in the words of Fry, shut up and take my money. And that's just me being direct about this Nintendo Direct. It was a good Direct. I can't wait to see these games in action. I can't wait to decide which games I'm actually going to shell out $50 or more for. And remember, if it got the name Mario or DK or anybody on it, don't expect to see that joint go lower than at least $40. Just keeping it a super buck, no pun intended. But yeah, man, we're gonna keep that moving. It's a Marvin Marv show. We're gonna keep it moving right now.